Okay, we're back. Hopefully this is working, because on my screen it keeps blipping, but let's see. So today's practice, as I mentioned before, is going to be addressing some of the chronic situations, chronic tension patterns that develop in your body based on all of these sitting experiences we're having these days, sitting watching TV, sitting at the computer, sitting doing this, sitting doing that. So maybe you're one of the rare people who are sheltering in place and getting out and moving a lot, but most of us are doing a lot more sitting than we're used to. So that's where this practice came from, is how to, in a short amount of time, how to address some of the tightness in the body related to sitting. So just so that we're all aware, go ahead and bring yourself to a couch and have a couple of throw pillows nearby. You know, you've got your couch cushions back there. And position yourself like you do after 30, 40, 60, 90 minutes of sitting, right? So what ends up happening is we start to tuck the pelvis, and that contracts the front of the body. We get a little shorter between the thighs and the torso, and the shoulders start to slump, but we're still aiming our vision at something. We're reading, we're looking at a screen, right? So our head goes forward. So we end up after a little while in this position. And hopefully you can see that. I end up with this rounded upper thoracic area, but then I've got my head extended forward. And what I notice if I sit here for too long is I have a really hard time breathing. I can't take a full breath in this position. So if you drop into this shape just briefly so that you can feel what it's like, you'll notice the breath is shallower. Okay. So let's address from the ground up how to re-engage these muscles. So starting off with just the feet. So I haven't moved anything. I'm still in this slumpy position, but I'm just going to start to push my feet against the floor. And my ankles are right underneath my knees. So pushing feet against the floor. Okay, well that wakes up my legs a little bit, but let's do just one leg. So push one leg and notice how that starts to lift the hip on that side. And then release that, push the other foot, and notice how that starts to lift the hip on that side. Okay, so we start to see this connection of feet to hip. Okay, now push into both feet again and feel how the hips engage and the thighs engage, and use that strength to start to push the top of the head up. And if you want to be really silly about this, but very effective, you can take one of your pillows, put it on top of your head like a hat, and balance that pillow as you push your feet down, feet into the earth, spine gets tall as you're pushing with the top of your head, almost like you're going to place the pillow on the ceiling of your room. Okay, now remove the pillow and just feel what that's like. Legs are really active now. And I'm noticing an engagement along the spine, front of the spine and back of the spine. I'm also noticing that I'm not jutting my chin forward. So there's a little bit of a retraction of the chin. And then the breath. Oh, the wonderful breath. I can take a full breath here. Ah. Okay, but that's really hard work on my legs. So I'm going to start to stretch some of these muscles that live along the front of my legs and the belly, because in this chronic condition, these muscles grow weak and short, right? they get very compacted. So I want to lengthen them. And I'm going to start with the hip flexors. So the muscles that attach the thigh to the torso, to the front of the pelvis. So I have kind of short legs. So I'm going to take 2 pillows and just set them on the floor in front of me. And then I'll turn to face you. And I'm going to put my knee on those pillows. And I want to try to bring my down leg in as close to the couch as I can and still be comfortable. So ideally I want this thigh to be perpendicular, but we're not going to split hairs here. Now, one thing that happens if you're new to this, one thing that happens is you'll put the knee down and the knee will be kind of forward of the hip. And I really want you to walk that knee back so that it's directly under the hip. Okay? So take a moment to kind of move around. And if you're up on a couch that's really high, you'll need to put some more cushions. So maybe the couch cushion. Okay? And then from here, just reach the arms up. Any amount. Maybe the arms go wide, but just lift between the armpit and the hip. And you'll start to feel that stretch along the front of the down leg. Okay, then turn towards the back of the couch and set your hands down, but keep the spine tall, almost like you have another pillow on the top of your head. And feel that twist. Feel that wringing out of the tension in your down leg, thigh, and hip, and belly. Good. And then come back to center. And we're going to stay with this leg in this position and just take a little side bend. So start to lean towards the back of the couch. You could stay there, or you might bring the arm overhead. That'll intensify it. Breathe. And then slowly release. Okay. Now let's go to the other side. And apologies, that means my back is going to be to you. So the other knee comes down. You're going to walk that knee back so that it is directly underneath the hip, or as close as you can get it. And then reach the arms up any amount. Turn towards the back of the couch and lower the arms, but keep the spine tall, almost like you're trying to balance that pillow on top of your head. And breathe. Feel that wringing out now of the other leg. And then slowly unwind, setting up for your side bend. So now you're going to lean towards the back of the couch. You can leave this hand down, or you can reach the arm overhead towards the back of the couch, whatever feels okay to you. Notice that whole side body opening up. And then slowly return and come back to center. Okay. Let's just set those off to the side for now. So let's check in now. So see how it feels. Already I notice by putting my feet down underneath my knees, I have a little more attention or awareness of the bottoms of my feet to my hips. And there's this sense that my back wants to lengthen without a lot of effort. So I feel a little bit of lightness now between my hips and my ribs. Okay, but we're going to continue. That was just part of the lower body. Now we're going to continue and open up the inner lines of the legs. So when we do that kind of compacted, contracted position, oftentimes the whole body will start to move into this protective fetal position, really. And so inner lines of the legs are also very fragile and protected. So here we want to open up the front of the body, open up the chest, open up the front of the legs, but also open up the inner lines of the legs. So we're going to come first into, this is my modified version. This may be where you stay today, or you might move into the second version. So just watch for a moment. I'm going to take my couch cushion, actually 2 of them, and just set them back behind me for a moment. All right, and then I'm going to come into butterfly. So my feet are on the ground, and I've got some nice soft cushion there. And bottoms of the feet touch almost like they're in a prayer position. Knees are opening. My hips are held by the couch, and I'm just going to feel what that's like. Okay, so this could be where I stay, and I might even lean back a little bit, letting my couch cushions kind of hold my back and start to open up both the inner thigh but also the front of the body. So this could be it for me. Or I might shift down to the floor if getting to the floor is okay for you, and come into butterfly here, and then put my elbows on the couch. And really what I'm looking for is I want to have this spot at the bottom edge of my shoulder blades be aligned with the couch. So you might need to be up a little higher or a little lower to make that happen. And the reason why is I want to start to tip the chest back. And then I can pull in my couch cushion to hold my head. And I start to get this nice opening from the inner thigh, inner groin, all the way up, front of the body, armpit area. That feels really good, very supported, very comfortable. This could also be a bed with some bed pillows. And just start to take a few breaths here. So we're inviting a back bend, but we're not asking a lot of back bending from the body. Okay. And then slowly begin to return to sitting upright, whether you're sitting on the couch or sitting on the floor. Sit upright, and then just raise your arms and grab opposite elbows. And just gently walk the elbows up, 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 and see how that feels today. So maybe this is a good option for you. Maybe it feels really nice to lengthen the side of the body this way, or maybe it's a little too much for you. So if that's the case, you can always slide, instead of holding opposite elbows, slide opposite wrists, or you just come into something like a cactus position. All right, so find an open position for you. All right. Now, those of you who have gotten to the floor, now you're going to come back up to sit. And we're going to take our pillows, or throw pillows off to the side. And now we're going to create a shelf to lay down over. And I'm going to have one cushion back there, and then another cushion sticking out almost like making a T position. And I have my 2 pillows just there for support. Uh-oh. Well, hopefully it's still recording. Saying it's having trouble. Let's hope it's okay. So now I'm going to sit down on this shelf. Yeah. And start to lean back. My knees are bent, feet are on the floor, hands are on the couch. I'm going to start to lean back and just see how that feels. My head is supported by that second couch cushion back there. Okay, so this could be where I stay. Feels pretty good, actually. And notice that I'm starting to really open up the front of the hips here, the hip flexors. Starting to open up the belly. So this could be it. And if you start to feel that your back is getting a little bit pinched or crunched, try wiggling around a little bit until it feels comfortable. Okay. If it is tender on your back, then you stay right where you are. Otherwise, you're welcome to straighten the legs. That's going to shift your weight down a little bit. And then you can take your arms to your pillows, to that cactus position, or even overhead. And you're just going to pause here and feel the length out of the front of the body. Nice open position out of the front of the body. This is the exact opposite of a seated position, right? So all those hours of sitting, stacking, compressing on your spine. Okay, now to come out of this pose, you're going to bring your arms down so that you have something to brace against. Then bend the knees if they're not already bent. And you're going to slowly press yourself up. Okay? And we're going to come into one more pose. This will be a forward fold. And I want to give you a couple of options for that. So first option is to come to standing and to simply turn. Separate your feet wide as you're comfortable. Turn the toes towards the couch, not ballerina style, but in. And then just start to lower yourself down. Head can be resting on your hands. You could even put your hands to the couch or the bed and just let your head turn if that's comfortable on your neck. Now, those of you who have a bit more flexibility, you're welcome to turn around. Set the backs of your legs against the couch and then come into your forward fold here. And if you'd like, you can prop your head on a cushion. Just pause wherever you are and take a few breaths, letting the head be at or lower than the level of your heart. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come out of your forward fold slowly. Have a seat. And just take a moment to feel into your body, the feet, the legs, the hips, the spine, the neck, shoulders, arms. Notice your breath flowing in and out with ease. So anytime you catch yourself in that slumped position, go ahead and reclaim the legs, the connection to the legs, the connection to the torso, to the chest, the shoulders, the whole spine, the whole body. Thank you so much. Take care and be well.